Hi, pattern makers. We are getting towards the end of our pattern work together. We have today and tomorrow, and then we'll be finished with our pattern work. So I have a couple of fun projects for us to do. I want to show you something. Do you know what this is? Have you ever seen anything like this before? This is a small version of it. Often you'd see it big outside, like on a sidewalk or on a street. And these would be drawn in chalk. Yeah, it's hopscotch. So when you see one square with hopscotch, that's where you'd hop on 1 foot. So you jump on 1 foot, then you jump on 2 feet. 1 foot, 2 feet. 1 foot, 2 feet, 1 foot. Okay, so it'd go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And then it could keep going and going and going. That's a pattern. Hopscotch is a pattern. So I thought we could use our whiteboards to design hopscotch patterns. And then if you have a family member that can go outside with you somewhere, you can go outside and make a hopscotch on a hard surface somewhere. Here's another one that I designed. For me, when it's the hop on 1 foot part, it's a little bit trickier. So this is a little bit of a trickier hopscotch path to jump on. It's 1 foot, 1 foot, 2 feet. 1 foot, 1 foot, 2 feet. And then sometimes I do this rainbow thing at the end. It's kind of just like, end and rest a minute, then turn around and go back. 2 feet, 1 foot, 1 foot, 2 feet, 1 foot, 1 foot. So you can design your hopscotch pattern to be however you want. There's 1 foot, 1 square, and then 2 feet is 2 squares. So if I wanted to be tricky, I might add in more of the 1 foot squares, right? Because that's kind of trickier. I'm going to show you another idea that I had for one. Here's another idea. It's 1 foot, 1 foot, 2 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot, 1 foot, 2 feet, 2 feet. And then you could add this if you want to at the end for the just kind of rest, turn around and go back. 2 foot, 2 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot, 1 foot, 2 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot, 1 foot. So you can be as creative as you want when you're designing your hopscotch. Remember, it's 1 square for hop on 1 foot. And then when there's 2 together, that's hop on 2 feet. And you can design as many as you want. And then you would use chalk to go outside, and you'd need a grown-up to go with you, or make sure you do some checking in with them before you go. And then you can go outside and build one of these. One of the things to remember, and that often gets tricky when we're making these outside, is that you want these squares to be pretty big so that your feet can fit in them. And if you're going to share or do this with a family member, you'll also want it to be so that their feet can fit in it too, right? So you want your squares to be pretty big, not teeny little mini squares, but big squares. So yeah, and sometimes when I was a kid, we used to put numbers in these. So we'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you want to do that, you could put numbers in it. And then something that's makes this even trickier, here's what we used to do. We used to take a rock, and you would kind of roll the rock. And if your rock landed in square number 1, so first you'd try and get it in 1. If it landed in there, you would skip over number 1, and you would hop. You'd have to hop all the way to number 2. And then you'd keep going all the way down and all the way back. And then you'd pick up your rock on the way back. And then you would be down here. And then when it was your next turn, you'd try and roll your rock to land on square number 2. And then whatever number the rock was on, you couldn't step on for that turn. You'd have to hop right over it. And you'd hop all the way up here and hop back. And then you'd pick up your rock on the way back down. And then can you guess what number you'd try to roll your rock onto next? Yeah, 3. So you'd try and roll your rock until it got on 3. And could you step on 3 this time? No, you couldn't. So you'd have to hop 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 2 feet. And then you'd go back, and on your way back, you would pick up the rock, keep going, And now you'd keep going all the way. So put your rock on 4. Can't hop on 4. You go back, pick it up. And you could do that all the way until you got to the last number. And you'd keep rolling your rock and skipping that spot. So that's another way that you could play with your hopscotch path that you make. Okay, but I want you to make sure that when you build your hopscotch path, you do some sort of pattern out there. Okay, and if you're some of my friends who have been working on labeling patterns, think about how you could use letters to label your pattern. Okay, so I would say 1 square is A, so I'd say A, and then these I'd say B. So I would say A, B, B, A, B, B. So give that a try too. Okay, this should be a really fun activity. So first, use your whiteboard to plan out your hopscotch, and then go outside and practice drawing it. You could even add the numbers, roll a rock, play with it that way. And number 3, this is the most important part of the whole project today. Have fun. Okay, pattern makers, have a great time.